Now on to our top story, the recommendations of the Justice Verma report on amendments to the law in the wake of the horrific gang rape in Delhi last month.
The awakening and its recognition.
A positive reaction to the tragedy which triggered this response of the government would be the real tribute.
Spelling out dramatic, sweeping changes to the current laws on rape and sexual assault, the panel of Justice Verma, Leela Seth and Gopal Subramaniam submitted their report recommending no death penalty but minimum 7 years to life in prison for rape, no lowering of juvenile age to 16 from 18 as had been suggested by many including the Delhi police, reviewing the controversial Armed Forces Special Powers Act in conflict zones, no need for sanction to prosecute sexual crimes by armed forces, punishment for marital rape, rape by family members and homosexual rape, punishing voyeurism, stalking and sexual harassment by 1 to up to 7 years. The panel has also slammed the Home Secretary, the police and the man on the street for apathy after the Delhi gang rape.
Police Commissioner of Delhi being given a pat on the back for his prompt action by a person no less than the Home Secretary. I was so shocked.
The police were also hauled up for not responding to the Justice Verma panel's calls for suggestions on changes to rape laws.
The response was expected from all the DGPs who were addressed even separately. There was hardly any response from any one of them.
They also suggested ending the ambiguity over who was responsible for security in the national capital. The report is clearly an embarrassment for the government.
अब पुलिस कमिश्नर की कहीं कमी रही हो सकती है कि उन्होंने कहा, ये जो मैंने मीडिया में भी देखा, I can't say this is a complete failure of the police or police employee, but I can't. It was an accident.
The cabinet will deliberate on those recommendations, and whatever changes are required.
To my mind, no sane person can argue that rape is something done during the course of duty. So I do think it is the duty to amend sections like this.
Justice Verma Committee's report has got a thumbs up from a lot of the activists and the lawyers who attended the press conference. However, now it's up to the lawmakers. Justice Verma pointed out that if they, with their limited resources, could do all this work in just a month, then Parliament should definitely be able to implement all of their suggestions in half the time. Will they be up to the challenge? In New Delhi, Sunetra Chaudhary for NDTV.
Well, joining us now, Gopal Subramaniam, member of the Justice Verma Committee, senior advocate, one of the authors of this report. Mr. Subramaniam, thank you very much for joining us this evening. 657 odd pages. It's been done in 30 days. It must have been a mammoth task. 80,000 suggestions. Before I get to some of the substantive points in your report, how did you actually manage to produce this report? Tell us a little bit about people from around the world writing into you with their suggestions.
Well, I think it was one of the most learning and interactive exercises which I've had so far. We had suggestions from professors at Oxford, Harvard. We also dealt with psychiatrists from all over the world. We also attempted to get the best medical practices for the purpose of a protocol in relation to a rape victim. The 80,000 emails, they have come from all over the world. We have had emails from South Africa, from Congo, from Kenya. So it's been an enormous response.
Right. Massive response. Mr. Subramaniam, if I can just go through some of the main points which you've raised, which the report has raised. No death penalty, but a minimum of 7 years to life in prison for rape. Why did you fall short of suggesting the death penalty?
I'm sorry, I'm just losing track. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I'll just repeat my question.
Yes.
No death penalty, but a minimum...
I'm sorry, there's a bit of an echo in my... Yes.
I'll just try and fix that echo. But, sir, the question I'm asking, no death penalty, but a minimum of 7 years to life in prison for rape. Why did you fall short of recommending the death penalty?
You see, in the beginning, in our committee, we thought that rape, death could be one of the penalties. But as we went on, discussing, interacting and evolving with various kinds of sociologists as well as thinkers on the subject, we decided that we must actually go somewhere between the range of the present punishment and death, because death is irrevocable.
Yes.
But more importantly, what also weighed with us was the preponderant position taken by all the women, that their claim was not for the purpose of an eye for an eye or a tooth for a tooth, but they wanted fundamental structural issues of access of justice to be addressed. Incidentally, all the women's organizations, they wanted life as is understood in the present sense, which means after remissions only 14 years.
They wanted that
None of
increase
them
to
actually
actual life in jail.
No, they'd never asked for it. No, they actually stood only at 14. But we as the committee felt that there was actually an impetus to increase the punishment because of the fact that these horrific incidents are happening somewhat on a repeated basis. So we had to have some principle of deterrence as well, which we had to take into account.
Right.
But as far as death is concerned,
yes,
that is an extreme position. And we also thought that in case that there is rape which is followed by murder,
yes,
there was an independent route for a court, if it was satisfied, to award death penalty.
Right. Mr. Subramaniam,
so that is why we stopped short of it.
Right. No lowering of the juvenile age to 16 from 18. This had been suggested by some. Again, why did you choose not to do this?
Well, this is a very fine question, Vishnu, and I greatly appreciate it. We owe a public explanation to the society for not doing it. What we found was that society has failed to deliver its promise to the weaker sections completely. You see, the juveniles are not being mainstreamed into society. They are living in ghettos, which are called juvenile homes. Their human rights have been badly impaired. They have been subjected to sexual abuse. You must see our report to see the kind of completely vulgar and outrageous behavior on the part of many of these homes.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.